Hey folks, this is Coloring Chemist. My name is Connie and welcome back to my channel. Well, I had a viewer request that I try out the oil pastels that I recently bought. So this is the 72 set from Paul Rubens. So there's the swatch card. There's all the pastels on camera. So I am willing to oblige. And so I've chosen sorry, I'm just trying to get things set up here. So, swatch in front of me there. I've chosen this picture from Hannah Carlson. This is out of Daydreams. And what I did was, excuse me, I have a pack of those, you know, those cheap flexible cutting boards. So I bought a pack of those off of Amazon a while ago. And I have used some washi tape to sort of tape the page down to that backing. And it makes a little border as well, so I don't have to worry about getting oil pastels kind of into the spine, the crease of the book. And then on this other side, I taped, so you can see, there's the other image. So this is just a piece of card that I use quite often for sticking in behind pages, just so that, again, I'm not smearing the oil pastel onto the other page. I have no idea what I'm doing, so if you're watching this afterwards, please be kind. Please don't judge. I have zero idea. I have never used oil pastels before. Never. I do have this little jar of, I've got some blending stumps in here, and I've got the little sandpaper sharpeners. I don't know if I'm going to use the blending stumps to blend out the oil pastels, or if I'm just going to use my fingers. I don't know. I also have this little set of, this is the Sennelier iridescent set. And so this has, so it's that one there, 12 colors. It says 12 iridescent colors, but that's actually not true. There are 10 iridescent colors and a black and a white. So I sort of have an idea of what I want to try and do for this background. I have no idea if it's going to work. So maybe I won't even say what it is in case it doesn't work. But I am going to be using, and forgive me, this, I mean, you can certainly use this as a tutorial after the fact if it works out. If it doesn't work out, then it's just going to be, well, probably me talking and being entertaining, I guess. I don't know. So what I need to do is, I have a little swatch here that I made of the iridescent colors. I need a gold. Actually, probably a couple golds. So I'm thinking maybe the rich pale gold, which would be, you know what, I'm going to get some tissues and lay them off to the side here, just so I have a place to lay down the oil pastels as I'm trying to keep my sleeves out of the way here too. As I'm going back and forth between them, because I don't want to lay them right down on my desk cushion thingy here, because it'll just get messy. So I think I'm going to use, this is 113. I think it's called Rich Pale Gold. I think I want that one. And maybe the pale gold. Ooh, hard to get out of their little sleeves there. And it's already on my fingers. And I think the rich gold. I think those three. And I'm also going to want, I think, this iridescent white. So I'll put that there too. Am I going to want the white? I don't know. No, I think we're just going to use those. And now I want some blues or maybe some kind of blue greens from this Paul Rubens set. So I'm looking at the colors here. What's 219? It's 219. Yes, celestial blue. Yep, I like that. So I'm just looking here. So that's 219. What's 214? Celadon green. Yep, that's good. So those are some light blues. Now we need some darker, like 007. I'm looking at my, that's 225. So 007, beat that one. That looks, oh, that is. Prussian blue, okay, yeah, we'll go with that, 007. Maybe. Sure. And, so I had, what did I have? I had this one, that one, and I think maybe 225. Indian blue. Let me just do a off to the side here. I'm just doing a swatching on my Kleenex tissue. Sure, why not? Really, in the grand scheme of things, I don't think it's going to matter because I don't think this is going to work out. But one never knows. I'm going to start with the golds. And what I'm going to do is make like veins. I am very, very bad at random. I don't know if it is my science coming out. I don't know. For those of you that don't know, my day job is a science teacher, a chemistry teacher actually. But I have always been very bad at random. It's like my brain just wants to do a pattern. And so, yeah. So I'm trying, move this up a bit here, to put these gold colors in randomly. I don't think it's working. But you know what? It'll be what it is. I don't know if some of you maybe have guessed what I'm trying to do. What I'm trying to do, and heaven knows if this is going to work, I have in front of me a picture of, you know how you can get like the marble, like, well, in my case, it's like a blue-green. It's like a blue-green marble with gold veining. That's what I'm gonna try. Nothing like, you know, choosing something really easy. It's not. That's why I put the air quotes. For your first shot at oil pastels, huh? Oh, Connie. Because it would have probably been easier for me to just either do a solid color or even just a nice fade. you know, darker and a little bit lighter, kind of like a vignette. No. Connie thinks, I know what I'll do. I'm going to do gold veined marble effect. Sure, that'll work out well. Okay. I have in my head that I can always come back in with some maybe gold paint of some kind and add the gold veins back in if this isn't working, if this doesn't work. So, I mean, I may end up, and you know what, if this page is a total disaster, I chose it because it's not like one of those pages, it's a lovely page, but it's not one of those pages where I look at it and think, oh, this is a favorite page ever. If I ruin it, I'll be devastated. Do you know what I mean? So that's always a good tip, I think, when you're doing something you have no idea about. Don't choose your favorite page. All right, so I'm going to now put some of this white in and around where the veins are. Maybe some other random places too. Why not? This is me trying to let go of perfectionism. Because there's absolutely no way that this is going to be anything close to perfect. It just won't. It's already looking so bad. It's okay. What do they say? Trust the process? But is that true if you have no idea what the process is? I think in order to trust the process, you have to actually have a process. I don't have a process. I have nothing. Nothing. Except this little picture in front of me on my phone that is like a blue picture of like that blue or gold veined kind of blue marble. That's all I got. Okay. And now I am just going to go and add in the marble. And I have these I don't know about that green though. That green seems too, but you know what, the picture I'm looking at does have some green bits. You know what, we'll go for it. Sure, why not? There we go. It's down on the page now. And I'm putting down a fair amount of the oil pastel because what I was noticing when I was doing the swatching is if you put down a little bit, it's harder to blend out. Now, I'm probably going to, and I don't have oil pastel fixative. I'm going to have to fix this somehow, probably even before I color the bird. I'm not sure how yet, though. I have workable fixative, and I have, I don't specifically have oil pastel fixative, but I do have, what else do I have? I think I have a matte fixative. More white. Some more white right in there. But again, those are like all-purpose fixatives, and I don't know if they will work. I guess we will see. What could possibly go wrong? I'm sorry if I'm laughing too much, but you know what? I'm so nervous right now, and I'm so freaked out because I just have no idea how this is going to turn out. None. Zip zilch. Ooh, that's more purpley, I think, than I intended. Oh well, it's down now. So here's a question. Should I lay down all of the oil pastel and then go in and blend it? Or should I blend sections at a time? Thinking they're going to dry on the page, aren't they? So I had best see if I can. Let's see how this blends, shall we? Why not? Starting on the gold and the white and kind of blending out the gold into the white before I get going with the blue. And I think I'll use the tissue off to the side here to, because I put so much, you know what, I'm going to turn off. Hang on a sec. There, that's a little easier. Sorry, it might not be as bright for you, but it was actually hard for me to see what I was doing just because the other overhead light that I had on there was, because these are iridescent, it was just hard for me to see. So, there. And I'm trying to preserve the lines. I don't know what this is going to look like of the gold, right? So when I'm blending with this paper stump, you know, when I'm going over the gold lines, I'm trying to follow the line that I already laid down, as opposed to, you know, circular and blending it out, because of course the gold veining, I want the veins to stay as veins, right? If that makes sense. No idea what this is gonna look like. Why, Connie? Why wouldn't you just do something easy that you'd seen? I mean, you know what? It's entirely possible that other colorists have done this in the past. I actually didn't look on purpose, because sometimes when do you guys find this? I get intimidated. I see so many amazing colorists and yeah, I get intimidated. And so I kind of didn't want to see if anyone else had done this, because, you know what, I think my finger is going to work better. Maybe. My finger will work better for larger areas. The tortillon just seems to make little lines. But I think for getting in this looks so bad. Okay, it's not looking like it did in my head, but well, I think the tortillon is not going to work for the larger areas. Or maybe I just needed to not push so hard on it. Like, I was pushing so hard on the tortillon that it was making, like, it was actually scoring the oil pastel that I laid down. Maybe, and I'm terrible for that. Yeah, I think a lighter touch is what I need for things to work here. I'm a terrible heavy-handed colorist, no matter what it comes to. Um, so I think I need to just learn to not be, to lay off. Now it's on my fingers. It's on the, oh heavens, it's on the middle of the tortillon. I think I just have to accept the fact that oil pastels are messy, and there's not a lot I can do about that. So, what have you all been up to? Have you been doing any coloring? Have you been using oil pastels? I bet if you have, it looks better than what I've got going here. It's end of June here, so we're coming up on Canada Day in Canada. And festivities that go along with it. You know, I'm not a big festivities person. As I get older, I find that I'm more and more of a, I mean, I've always been an introvert, super introverted. But as I get older, I find that I'm just more and more so. And got me to thinking the other day, I don't know, do you guys, this sounds silly, and it's not quite what I mean, but do you guys think? Thinking is like my hobby, which I think is why I like coloring so much, because I can just let my mind go and think. And I think about all kinds of things. I think about philosophical things. I think about I don't know, different subjects, different nonfiction things that I've read about. And this is going to be everywhere, isn't it? Yes, it is. I was thinking the other day about lonely versus being alone. And I was thinking, is there a difference? Because you often hear, you know, researchers or whatever talk about it's not good to be lonely. But if you like being alone, then if you're, you know, and I shouldn't say, they say for your mental health it's good if you have lots of social contact. I think maybe that's how they'd phrased it. And so I was thinking, but what if you like being alone? Does that mean then that, like, I'm not explaining this very well because I'm trying to color and talk at the same time. So if you like being alone, then is being alone such a terrible thing? I guess that's what I was getting at. I can see if you're the kind of person who just does not like being alone, you love being around people, then I can see being alone being a bad thing, because then, you know, if you're alone but you don't want to be alone, you know, there's more likely there's depression that would happen in there too. But what if you want to be alone? Does that make a difference? You know, is it still so terrible to not have you know, a lot of social activities and stuff if you prefer being alone? So I was thinking about that the other day. What do you guys think? Do you think, I mean, I don't know. I'm pretty introverted. I think I'm probably the most introverted person you would ever meet. And I can not have contact with other people for quite a long time, and I'm okay with it. But that's just me. So, I don't know. What do you guys think? This is so not looking like I thought it was going to. At this point, I'm not really sure what to do with it. And I probably shouldn't have started this bottom right-hand corner either, should I? Just thinking that now. Thinking, how are you gonna... It's gonna be all over my hand. Well, I guess I can turn the book. It's so bad. You know what? That's okay. Live and learn. Live and learn. So, I mean, this is all I'm doing. I'd try and explain it better if I could, but I have zero idea what I'm actually doing. So it makes it hard to teach and to explain when I have no idea. I'm just trying to spread out the color, but not I'm trying not to interfere with the veining too much, and I'm trying to blend in the different blues that I have here. And I think that using the tortillon seems to be going okay. Again, I learned very quickly there that I had to lighten up in my touch. And I think that what I will probably do, and you saw me doing a little bit there, once I use the tortillon, I'm going to go back over it with my finger, just because the tortillon is, because I have so much, and maybe I should have done layers. But because I've got so much pigment down on the page, the tortillon is still making just little marks. So I think I'm going to go back over with my finger and try and smooth a little bit of that out. Still think this is going to look so bad. Oh my goodness. Anyway, yeah. So that's what I was thinking about the other day. Being alone versus lonely. If you enjoy being alone, then are you lonely if you're alone? I don't think you are. What else was I thinking about the other day? I was thinking about social media and kids, because of course I'm a teacher. This is so bad. Okay, let's see if my finger can fix some of this. I'm guessing not, but what the hey? There's the lawsuits that some of the school boards have against social media companies for basically saying, you know, they knew how addictive these social media platforms would be, but made them that way anyway. And now, you know, young children are paying the price. And then there's some schools, I know in the States and in Canada, that are going to be banning cell phones during the school day. And I just thought it's interesting. because I have a lot of teacher friends, and many of them, even say 5, 6, 7 years ago, were saying, oh no, you know, we can incorporate the smartphones into the education and it'll be great. And I don't know. I guess maybe it's not the phone itself that's the problem. It's how it's used, I guess. Does that look anything like marble? No, because I'm looking at the picture of the marble on my phone, and the gold veining is not that fuzzy. But you know what? Maybe what I can do is I don't like this down here. That blue is too... I think that blue was too dark. And it's not. I think it needs to be blended out more. I forget totally what I was talking about. Oh, cell phones and kids. So yeah, I mean, maybe better supervision. I don't know. I don't know. It was just something I was thinking about. Sorry. Probably shouldn't have tried talking about, you know, heavy duty topics while I'm doing something that I've never done before. I think I'm just making this worse. I have a feeling I'm just making this worse. I don't know, it looks like on screen. I'm looking, it's a tiny little screen in front of me that I'm looking at. Alrighty. Alrighty. So I'm going to, I've got quite the mess going off to the side here. Oh look, it's probably on my hands. I don't even have baby wipes with me. All I have is some facial tissues. How much is on my arms? I don't see any. Okay, well, it is what it is, what it is. I'm going to use this kind of sparingly, I think, because it's a lot darker than the others, but I couldn't... Which one was this? Is this 007? Yeah. There wasn't really a color in between there. There was 080, but that was more blue-gray, I thought. Yeah. No, I'm going to stick with this. I'll just have to be aware how I'm using it. And maybe put this down lighter. And then actually work that in over top. Yeah, maybe that'll work better. Oh, I didn't... what the hey. Let's see, what else? So yeah, July 1st, Canada Day coming up here. You guys have 4th of July in the States. And I don't know what you guys have over in the UK and Europe. If you have... I think in the UK you guys have like bank holidays and stuff in the summertime. You obviously would not have an Independence Day celebration. And Canada Day actually isn't... I mean, in the States it's Independence Day, right? But we're technically still part of the British... Well, not technically. We are still part of the British Commonwealth. And so, you know, we're not celebrating our independence. But just celebrating Canada as a country. So hopefully there'll be some good weather, because it's usually kind of an outside kind of a holiday. You know, people out barbecuing and parades and that sort of thing. Just adding some more white down in there. I don't know why. At this point, I have no idea what I'm doing. At no point did I have any idea what I was doing. So really, yeah. You know what? There'll be a blue background with some shiny bits in it. And maybe what I will do is maybe I can go back over top and try and crisp up some of the veining. Like I say, maybe I can go over with probably not a gel pen. Can't imagine a gel pen would work well on over top of oil pastel. But maybe, I'm trying to think what would. Maybe one of those super golden markers, if I can get it flowing enough, or paint, right? I don't know I mean, it depends whether I fix it first. I don't know why I just did that. Because if I use, say, workable fixative, and I know there's probably you folks out there who are far more knowledgeable than I am with oil pastels, are probably saying, you can't use workable fixative on them. And you know what? It's entirely possible. But if I did, then I suppose I could put all kinds of things. Then like I say, I probably maybe could use gel pen to kind of crisp up those gold lines. I'm very close to the outer wing of the bird here, so I don't have a lot of room to work in there. Okay. How do you guys use oil pastels? Do you use them for backgrounds? Do you put them on a palette? Or do you put them and then use... I guess you could put them on a palette and use like a blending brush, but that would be really sticky, wouldn't it? I mean, I do that with gel crayons, but oil pastels I think would be sticky, maybe? Do people normally just put them straight on the page? I think that's mostly what I've seen. I can't imagine anybody after watching this would think to themselves, yeah, I'm totally going to go and get me some oil pastels and do what Color Chemist was doing. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Although, you know what I hope? I hope somebody who is far better at this than I am decides to give this idea a try. Because I think it could look cool, but maybe oil pastels weren't the best medium. Maybe watercolor? But then there's very distinct lines. Here, can you see that? That's the picture that I'm looking at. So there's very crisp, distinct lines. This other part of it does look kind of watercolory. Yeah, maybe watercolor would have been better. Oh well. I'm committed now. I'm trying to think what other kind of background medium would have worked for this. I mean, certainly pencil, but wow, that would have been a labor of love, I think, because that would have been Yeah. What else would have worked? Neocolor 2s? Maybe Neocolor 1s, but then using like... I wonder if the Holbein melts would work on Neocolor 1s. Neocolor 1s are the... they're crayons, right? They're not water-soluble crayons either. They're just crayons. I mean, they're high-quality artist crayons, but they're not... I guess what I'm trying to say is they're not water-soluble. So I have had some success in the past activating them a little bit, just getting them to move. So, because you know when you color with crayons, it does tend to leave the little white spots on your paper, because I mean, unless you're going to put down burnishing pressure, you're going to see the little hills and valleys, the tooth of the paper coming through. But I have had some success blending them out, or getting rid of some of that tooth with a Derwent blender pen. I'm wondering if Holbein melts would work. I'm going to guess no. Holbein melts seems to not work well. Works better with pencils like Faber-Castell, the Polychromos, and not so well with the, I was going to say waxier pencils. Again, that whole wax oil pencil thing, I think I did a video on that. I can try and link it below. There isn't really, that's not really a way to think about pencils in terms of hardness and softness. But I guess I'm not really thinking about pencils in terms of hardness and softness. I'm trying to think what, basically wax, because the crayons would be wax, right? There might be some oil in there, but crayons are wax. That's kind of their carrier. So I'm just thinking if Holbein melts doesn't do well with Prismacolor, which it kind of doesn't. Don't know. Would it do well with wax crayons? Well, try, right? That's the only way to know. You know, I'm looking at sort of these two sides here, right? I smushed over everything with my finger on this side afterwards, and I haven't here. And I'm trying to decide which side I like better. There's a part of me that really wants to smush. Because I guess I'm just looking for maybe that smoothness, you know. But, I mean, I guess it depends on the look I'm going for, I guess. This is so bad at this point right now that I am not sure that it even matters anymore. Does it even matter what I do? Okay, I'm going to have to tilt this up towards me just for a second because it's hard for me to see with the glare. Nope, I'm going to smooth it with my finger. You know, you go ahead, be screaming at the screen right now. Be screaming, don't do it. Don't do it. But maybe you're screaming, you really should, because maybe it would help salvage this disaster. This is why I don't tend to do color alongs on the channel. Because I often have zero idea what I'm doing going in. And I think I've mentioned this before. For whatever reason, my brain doesn't process visual stuff that way. It's not like I can see the picture before I start in my head. I just can't. And so I'm often going in kind of almost blind, and just it's like a Hail Mary situation. I'm going in, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm just going to start doing something, and if it works, it works, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. So that's why I'm always so hesitant to do color alongs, because I have no idea what I'm doing. And I just feel like, in a color along, you probably should have some idea. That's kind of the point to the color along. But then somebody else said, it's kind of fun sometimes to watch complete amateurs, which that's definitely me, trying to do something, because you know what? You can learn from my mistakes, and then you don't have to make the same mistakes. So I'm going to go with mistake number 1, was thinking I could do this live with you. Well, not live, but with you on camera, instead of practicing first. That was my mistake number 1. Mistake number 2 was probably trying to do this with oil pastels, because I just don't think this is a good medium for it. Let's see, mistake number 3. Maybe I should have prepped the page with something first. I didn't. I just went on... this is Hannah Carlson paper, right? And it's pretty good paper. It can take a lot of abuse. And so... Besides, I don't know what I would have prepped it with that would have made it... it's not like watercolor or anything that would be made better. Is this looking at all like marble? I get the feeling it's not. Okay, I'm going to tilt it towards me again so I can see. The gold needs to be golder, if that makes sense. And the edges on this white here, I think, maybe not quite so crisp. Kind of like that. I don't know how I did that. It's like there's white, and then it's like I've sort of dragged a little bit of blue over top, but you can still kind of see the white. I have no idea how I did that. I guess I kind of did that over here too. Okay, at this point, I'm not so worried about the gold anymore, because I definitely am going to have to come back in with something and sort of fix the veining. Hey, it's something. So I'm going to turn this book now, and we're going to try and do this top part, and then I may pause the video while I go off and ponder, oh sorry, off camera there, how to fix this and make it better. At this point, I'm not sure there's any way to do that, but life goes on. I'm also trying not to lay my arm in the tissue I have over to the side there. I'm going to go right up into the corner with this white, I think. And the white is the iridescent white. Just in case anyone was actually following and would try and do this. I can't say it would be a good idea, but, you never know. The nice part about not really knowing what you're doing and not having any clue how things will turn out is you always get to be pleasantly surprised if they do turn out. So, you know, there's always that. That's yeah. Like there's been some pictures where I've finished and I've thought, wow, I really like that. I have no idea how I did that, and I doubt that I could do it again. But it turned out. I guess probably you just do and do again, right? You try something and try it again and try it again until you like it. I mean, I don't think anybody is a professional at anything the first time they try it. That seems unlikely. And so I suppose I shouldn't worry too much. If this had completely and totally turned out on the first try, that would have been a fluke, number one. A miracle. It's just, yeah. But you know what? We've been going, 51 minutes. I'm looking at my clock here. And you know what? We're almost done. Well, we're almost done until I figure out how to fix this veining. And I'm going fairly close to the illustration, but not... I mean, I still did go over the illustration lines, you know, particularly in here. I'm going to try and go in with... Can you erase oil pastel? Like with an electric eraser? Or will that just muck it up? I don't know. I'll try. If not, I might just leave it, color over top of it. I was thinking of doing just... So I'm not doing all new things on here. I probably was going to color the bird maybe with pit pens. Just because it's something I know. It's something I know how to make work. So... I think the pit pens will be okay. If there's a little bit of oil pastel residue there, I think they'll still be okay. Again, just trying to not use too much of that dark, and then go in with some other blue over top of it. Just because otherwise, even down here I can still see, I think that's just too dark. That needs a little bit better blending there too, I think. How do you sharpen oil pastels? Or you can't, probably, I'm guessing is the answer. Because when I first started, like when they first come out of the box, they're not super pointy, but can you see, I mean, there is, you know, there's somewhat of a point there. But now that I'm using them, they're getting flatter, so then it's harder to get in little crevices, which is kind of another reason why I chose this particular image, because the outline, other than these little dips around the wings, or the feathers, I guess, the outline was pretty... There wasn't a whole bunch of tiny little cracks and crevices to get in, you know what I mean? Oh, I'm supposed to do the gold first. Yeah, I was looking at another picture in a different book, and particularly after I decided to try and do this, I think that other image would have really been difficult. there was just a lot of little cracks and crevices to get in, and I think it would have driven me kind of bonkers to try and do this, and you know, I'm doing oil pastels for the first time, and then pick a picture with like tiny teeny little crevices to get in. So I guess I at least tried to save myself there, didn't I? Oh my goodness. My goodness, Connie. Maia does amazing, amazing work with oil pastels on her channel. And so she was kind of my... Sorry, Maia. I'm sorry. You're my inspiration, but I'm certainly not doing you any justice. If you want to learn how to really use oil pastels on a background, you should watch Maia's channel, Colored by Maia. She knows what she's doing. I do not. I know other people, to get into little nooks and crevices like this, instead of getting the oil pastel in there, I think they'll go in with like Prismacolor. They'll find a similar color to the pastel that they're using, and then get right up to the lines of the illustration that way. But no, I decided to do this the hard way and get oil pastel right up in there. Kind of making a mess as I'm doing it, but what you gonna do? I do hope I can turn this into something in the end. Otherwise it seems like... Well, I shouldn't say it's a waste. I shouldn't look at it that way, should I? Because it's never a waste. I certainly have learned a number of things here today. So, it's not a waste. Maybe, let's see, what could this be instead of marble? Maybe it's like the sea, and the bird is flying over the ocean, and the white is like white caps. I don't know what the gold is. I don't know. Sorry, I'm just trying to get into all those little crevices and what have you around the feathers and the wings here. My apologies if I'm either rambly or too quiet today. This is taking a lot of concentration. It's easier to go around the bird's head. It's just a nice straight line. What color should I do the bird? Like oranges and yellows, maybe? Maybe bring in some golds as well. Some greens maybe in there too. I think maybe this one oil pastel was too... I forget which one it was. It's maybe too purpley. Maybe. So I probably should have tried this first on a scrap piece of paper, but I did not. And we're almost done now. All right. So I'm just going to turn this back. Oh, no, I'm going to leave it this way because otherwise I'm going to lay my arm in it. Hold that down with my finger. Just try and, again, smooth it out some. Help. I felt that was just too dark. So I took the white iridescent and just went over top of it. I don't know if that helped or not. All right. Tilt this towards me. What does this look like? Doesn't really look like the picture on the screen in front of me. All right, so I am going to go away for a bit and try and think of a way to put a little bit of that veining back in. But there it is right now. Again, I don't know what y'all think of that. I don't know if there's anybody out there. Would you just leave it? See, I'm always futzing with things, particularly stuff that I'm not comfortable with, right? Because I'm just thinking, well, it's not good. How can I make this better? And then I never know when to leave well enough alone. But I do think the gold needs to be brighter too. So let me go away for a bit. Well, probably just be a few seconds for you. Be a little while for me. And I'm going to think about how to do this, and I will be back. Okay, I'm back. Here's some more things I have learned today. And I think I'll actually turn this light back on just so you can get a overhead light. There we go. I have learned you cannot use an eraser to erase, and again, you guys probably all knew this, to erase oil pastel where you've gotten it on the actual illustration, partly because it just kind of smears it, and then all the little eraser shavings get stuck in the oil pastel background when you try and brush them off. So don't do that. And I think, okay, so when I left, we had just smudged everything and smeared it. And I thought about going in with, I have, some various colored, these are acrylic brush pens. Some of them are metallic, some of them are just a flat acrylic. And trying to put more veining in with the blues. Because if you look here, there's definitely some veining with blue. But it's not random veining. It's actually veining that outlines different colored areas. And I just, because of the smudging I did, I kind of lost those different colored areas. So I decided not to do that. And all I did was, so I got these out for nothing. All I did was, took this. This is just an Artex acrylic marker with the brush tip. And it's gold, like metallic gold. And I think it comes in, you can actually get a box of just gold, or you can get a box that's got a gold and a silver and some black and some white. I think a gold comes in a lot of the sets, but that's all this is. So it's just, right, one of those brush tip. And I traced over top of where I had the gold veining from before. And then I also added a few more in, just cause. So I don't know what that looks like. Let's see if we can tilt it a bit here. It's hard because the lights are picking up the shine from all the gold iridescent that got smeared everywhere. But I don't know if you can see the gold veining any better. I don't know. I don't know what this is going to look like. I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go off and spray this with some fixative, probably the workable fixative. And then we'll come back and we will take the tape off together and see. Although, no, you're supposed to take tape off before you put the fixative on. Aren't you? Yeah, I think you are. Okay, let's do this then. Let's reveal. Right, because then otherwise you fix the tape to the... I don't know. Maybe I'm doing this all wrong. It is very satisfying, isn't it? To peel back the tape. Oh, that's gotten stuff all over my hands now. All right, I'm just going to pull this out. I'll put this back in when I go to work on it some more. But there, I don't know. What do you think? It actually might even look better on camera than it does in real life. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I think of it. Does it look like gold marble? Probably not unless somebody actually said to me, this is supposed to look like the gold veined marble. And then I'd be like, oh, okay. Because I don't think I would just look at this and think, oh yeah, that looks like gold veined, or gold veined blue marble. Is it a neat, colorful background? Yeah, I guess so. I guess so. Sometimes it's hard to tell until you get the image colored, isn't it? Yeah. Well, you know what? I probably won't go off and spray it and come back because it's not going to look any different sprayed than it does now. Unless, of course, the spray makes all of the oil pastel run everywhere. That's always a possibility. If it does, I'll come back and show you. But if I don't come back, then it means it probably worked. And this may be one of my completed pages for June. We'll have to see. It's getting close to the end of June, so I don't know if I'll have time, but we shall see. So if I do not come back, then I hope everyone is safe. I hope everyone is well. I hope everyone is enjoying their coloring. If you like what you see in my channel, consider liking the video, subscribing, hitting that notification bell, leaving me a comment, letting a friend know that you found a channel with some videos that you like and they might like them too. Until next time, if I don't come back, everybody take care, and I hope, crossing my fingers, cross your fingers for me. I actually hope I don't have to come back because I hope this turned out. All right, guys, take care. Bye-bye.